Yo, have fun, man, okay? Peace. Can I'm gonna move this in the back, dude. So it's like, yeah, are there any outlets out here? It's a good spot. Marcelo, professor, tudo beleza, professor?
Como está usted, professor? Como está usted? Muito bem, muito bem? Muito
Estou
bem?
muito bem, professor. Estou muito bem, professor. Você?
Muito bem também.
Ah, that's great. That's great. Fantastic. Welcome to
Very
class. Marcelo,
well,
how's
very
everything
well
going?
too. Great, great.
Good,
What
good, good.
about you?
I'm just trying
What have you
to
done?
great, great. Everything's great. I'm in California, man, living the life here, San Francisco, San Jose. It's
Great.
beautiful.
Are you enjoying California? Stay there?
Oh, it's
You-
beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm loving every minute. It's a
Yeah,
very it's
beautiful.
a great place, beautiful place. There's so much to do, so much culture, so much uh, everybody speaking a different language on the street, different food, restaurants. When are you going to be here again, Marcelo? You said you're coming to San Francisco.
Sorry, teacher. I was with another window.
No, that's fine. Did
Okay.
you? When are you coming to San Francisco? I think you said you were coming to San Francisco.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will go to United States next year. I don't know yet.
Uh-huh, next year. Okay, okay.
I feel like I feel like going next year, but I
Uh-huh.
don't know if I will have time to go next year.
Sure, sure. But no, you're always
I'm not
welcome.
sure. I'm not sure, but I
No, it's
intend to go. I intend to go. I intend to go to Las Vegas and the Orlando,
Orlando. Yeah,
and San Francisco. I would like to know too.
yeah,
I would
beautiful.
like to drop by from San Francisco. And
Yeah.
San Francisco, what is that movie was made? The Pursuit of Happiness
Pursuit of
was made in San
Happiness.
Francisco. Yeah,
I think so. I didn't see that movie, but
yeah, yeah.
it sounds familiar. Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's awesome movie. Yeah.
Yeah, Will Smith and his son are very they make a very good pair when they are in a movie. They work very well together, the father and son.
Okay. But San
Yeah.
Francisco, I heard that it's so cold in the winter.
It gets chilly, but it's not super cold. It's not like snow or some things like that. But there is a lot of fog in the sometimes in the afternoon there's some fog around sunset. Sometimes there's fog. So,
Okay.
but it's not generally that cold. No, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately, it's not that cold. So it's
Great, great.
yeah, it's pretty nice. Generally, it's pretty nice. I like it. Um, Jose, how's it going, man? Welcome to class.
Hello, Farhan. It's good to see you're alive.
Yeah, I good to see him alive. Exactly. I was the day I came here, I was driving. So I think the day after I spoke with you, I got here Monday night on schedule, no problems. But I was driving like a maniac, right? So I was driving pretty crazy on the highway, and there were two or three times when I felt I was falling asleep, right?
Oh,
Which is kind of dangerous, right? But I saw, I thought I saw a deer, okay, on the road, and I braked really hard. There were no cars behind me, but I braked, so I didn't stop, but I slowed down very suddenly, right? But
okay.
then I realized it wasn't a deer; it was just the light playing a trick with my eyes, right? So
Yeah.
you have to be careful sometimes, but the mountains were beautiful in the daytime. I took a ton of videos. So as I was driving, I took videos of the scenery, of the road, me driving, everything like that. And
Also, you have crossed the mountains.
yeah, I crossed the mountains,
Okay.
and the deserts.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's
yeah.
why I asked you the last time. I asked you about the coffee, if you have drink coffee.
No, I didn't drink any coffee the entire trip. No coffee.
Okay.
Zero coffee, just water, and I had tea. I had one glass of tea. That was it. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Uh,
So, or I mean, food. I had maybe a little. I had a sandwich and I had whatever, but no, it was. I was just driving, driving, driving as many hours as I can. No stopping.
How long time did you take?
60 hours to drive 2,200 miles, which is so 3,500 kilometers in 60 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty significant, I thought. Out of the 60 hours, I slept for 10 hours. I did Colingo for 9 hours. So on the road, I was on the road for how many hours then? 30. No, 41 hours. Nah, 41, 50. Yeah, 41 or so hours on the road. Yeah. So, and wait, did I 60 hours, 41, 9 hours in Congo, 10 hours? Yeah, a couple hours of maybe just like eating, maybe a couple more hours. So, roughly 38 hours on the road, I think it was total to go from Madison to San Francisco. So it was nice. It was very good trip for me. I liked it a lot, but sometimes I was very tired, unfortunately. So
And you make it by yourself, just alone, or?
yeah, just alone.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a good experience. On the way back, I'm going to be going alone also, but I'm worried about the weather in December because it might snow. And if it snows in the mountains, I will be in serious trouble. So I will go when it's very warm. If the weather is nice, I'll leave when I see that the weather is very nice the entire trip.
Great, great.
Yeah, so when I was coming down, guys, not a single drop of rain. Nothing. The entire country was clear weather when I came down. So I want a very similar experience when I go back. And in a few days,
Awesome.
guys, if you guys care, my website, I am going to be writing my travels and putting my videos on this
Great,
website.
great,
Yeah,
great. I'm gonna see
so
it. I'm gonna see
yeah,
it.
yeah. If you guys want to check it out, always feel free to tell me if I should improve it or do some different things like that. So okay,
I
fantastic.
think it was an awesome travel.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. And being here today, I drove to outside of San Jose. San Jose is my city right now. I went to the mall, and the culture is amazing. I mean, there's one part of the city that is completely Vietnamese people from Vietnam. So yesterday I tried a dish called pho. It's called pho, but it's written as pho, P-H-O, right? It's written pho, but it's pronounced pho. And it's this huge, gigantic bowl it's a soup, but it has chicken, it has rice noodles, it's very spicy. You can make it very spicy. And it was delicious. I never had that kind of food before, but here in California, every culture, nobody looks like anybody else, and yeah, on the same street, you have me, you have somebody from Vietnam, somebody from Mexico, somebody from Africa. I mean, the entire world in one area, in one
And
state.
are you gonna go back by car again?
Yeah, yeah. I
It's a long way.
I have to, unfortunately. But I mean, it's going to be fun. Now I know the road, it's going to be better. It's going to be much better because I know the road. But yeah, I spent 16 hours in the mountains, 16 hours in the desert. So the desert was
Fantastic,
sometimes
fantastic,
it
fantastic.
was I mean the desert was beautiful, but sometimes it was just like, oh my God, this country doesn't end. You
Yeah, I
know,
know, I know,
it's
I
a
know.
huge country. Like how many more miles of this do I have to drive?
Mm.
So great stuff, guys. Well, anyway, guys, thank you for joining, you guys. Let's get started talking about today. We're going to be talking about future questions, right? This is an intermediate class, which means that we are going to be focusing equally on the grammar and the discussion. But I think you guys have a very solid understanding of the grammar, so we will review the grammar briefly. We will look at the article, and then we'll get started, right? So before we get started, actually, guys, I wanted to ask you a very basic question using a future construction. What will you do tomorrow? So Marcelo, what will you do tomorrow? What's your plan for tomorrow?
Yeah. Tomorrow I will work.
I will work tomorrow.
And hit the books even more.
And I'll hit the books in the morning, right? Yeah, so you're going to be studying tomorrow also then, right?
Just as usual.
Fantastic. And what about you, Jose? What will you do tomorrow?
Tomorrow, very early, I'm gonna go to the dentist, and yeah, it might take up to 9 or 10 p.m. maybe. Then I have
Wow.
to teach. No, 10 9 or 10 a.m.
I was going to say, yeah. 12 hours in the dentist. I don't know what's going on.
No, that will be a torture.
Torture,
No,
yeah.
Then I have to teach a class, and then come back to my home to eat something, and I have to teach again up to 6 p.m.
Okay.
Then come back and try to attend some classes.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. So you have a nice long day tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday. So you're going to have a lot of activities going on. That's awesome, Jose. You used perfect the entire way. So you guys understand the future construction very well, right? When we ask questions in the future, guys, we have two constructions. We have the will construction and we have the going to construction. So if I want to ask a question using the will construction, I can say, for example, what will you do, right? So the construction is pretty simple. The construction is will plus the subject plus a verb, right? What will you do, right? Will you go to work on Friday, right? Whatever. So will plus the subject plus a verb. That's it. Very simple, right?
Or when are you gonna be? When are you gonna come back to your city?
Yeah. When are you
For
going to
instance.
come back to your city? Yeah, fantastic. When are you going to? So this is the second one, right? So the will construction would be when will you come back to your city, right? With the going to construction, we also have the additional verb before or after the, I'm sorry, before the going to. So we say is, am, or are, right? The verb to be plus subject plus going to, right? When are you going to come back to your city, right? So that's the second construction. Is, am, are plus the subject and then a verb. And for both of these constructions, guys, you can put an optional time phrase at the end. If you want, you can use a time phrase. You can say, will you go to work on Friday, right? On Friday is a time phrase. If I say, will you go to school tomorrow? Tomorrow is a time phrase. On Saturday, time phrase, right? So these are optional. But besides that, you can use these two forms, right? Any questions, guys, on these forms?
No question.
But no questions. Yeah, I think you guys are pretty solid with this. Jose, do you mind giving me an example of a sentence with either of these constructions, whichever one you like?
Okay. I will go to the dentist tomorrow.
Well, let's ask a question, Jose, actually, because the focus is on the questions.
Okay, and will you stay for a week or for a month?
Fantastic. Yeah. Will you stay for a week? Will you stay for a month? What's another way? How can we ask how long they will stay?
Okay. How much will you stay?
How much will you stay? It's actually easier to say, Jose, how long will you stay?
Okay. How long will you stay? Oh.
Yeah. As simple as that.
I don't know what
I know,
okay.
I know. It happens like that, right? So, for example, how long will you stay in California? Oh, maybe 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. I don't know, right? How long will you stay, right? So that's a great example. how long will you stay, right?
Or how long are you gonna stay?
Yeah, how long are you going to stay? Fantastic, right? Both of those work. So how long are you, so this is the are plus a subject, then going to, and then a verb, right? How long are you going to stay, right? Fantastic. Both of those are great. Marcelo, what about one other example of a question? Anything you want.
What are you gonna do tomorrow in
Yeah,
California?
what are you going to do tomorrow in California? Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, right? So tomorrow I have work from from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. So I'll be working for until 3 p.m. And then at 3 p.m. I want to go to the movies Thursday night, and then probably go to dinner and go to the gym after. So it's going to be a busy day for me tomorrow as well.
So
So
you
yeah,
decide to put your foot up and you relax a little bit. Great. It's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's a mix of work and fun here in California because people are very hardworking here. I was at the gym yesterday, 10:30 at night. I thought people would be going to bed and sleeping and not at the gym. The gym was packed. 10:30 at night, I couldn't find any space to like lift weights. It was like everybody was using everything. All the machines were taken. I don't know. People here are crazy. They are very active people. In New York, forget about it. I mean, in at night, people are. I mean, New York is actually a little bit different, but in Wisconsin, 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night, people are sleeping. They're not at the gym. So it was interesting for me to see that how active people are here, you know. So great questions, guys.
I also saw a move Pursuit of Happiness, and that the move shows a huge bridge in San Francisco. That's amazing bridge.
Yeah, the Golden Gate Bridge, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of red color bridge, right?
Yeah, red color.
Yeah, it's Golden Gate.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a
Wonderful.
very beautiful place. You should definitely come here, both of you guys. Try to get here as soon as you can. It'll it'll change your life. So, guys, one last example of something that we can use to make the future tense, or to make a question in the future, is if we use the present continuous with a time phrase, right? Really important to use the present continuous with a time phrase. So if I use is, am, or are plus a subject plus a verb in the ing, right? Anything in the continuous tense, and then I use, you know, a time phrase, an optional time. This one is not optional. I think it's actually very important to include a time phrase, right? So, for example, you can say, "Is he doing the laundry tomorrow?" Right? Is he washing the dishes at 6 o'clock? Right? Any time phrase, right? When you're talking about the future, when you indicate that time phrase at the end of a sentence that is in the present continuous, it's an example of the future, right? And if you think about it, really, the going to is a specific form of the continuous present continuous, right?
Is you going to the beach tomorrow?
Yeah, is he going to the beach tomorrow, right? Is he traveling to San Francisco tomorrow, right?
Is you what is you? Are you?
Are you? Yeah, are
Are you?
you?
Yeah. Are you going to the Golden Gate Bridge tomorrow?
Yeah, fantastic, right? Are you going to the Golden Gate Bridge tomorrow? Unfortunately, not. It's a little bit far away, but I do plan to go there this weekend. I'm going to go there this weekend, right? Maybe Saturday or something. So yeah, it's perfect, right? Perfect use of the words of this last construction. And going to is a sub form. It's a category under the present continuous plus optional time phrase. So any questions, guys, about these three forms? We have will, we have going to, and we have this present continuous. Any questions? I think it's clear for you
Yeah,
guys.
it's not it's I think it sounds better if you say if you make a question. For instance, are you gonna go? Are you gonna go to the Golden Gate Bridge tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Then are you going to Golden Gate Golden Gate Bridge tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gunna makes it much more informal, much more colloquial, conversational. Absolutely, absolutely. So, are you gonna go is much better. It sounds more fluent than are you going to go. But people like me, we use both of them. I say going to sometimes. I say gonna sometimes. It really doesn't matter. Um,
Okay.
it sounds better, I guess, if you say gonna with your friends. If I'm speaking to somebody older, more formal, then I usually say going to something like that. But honestly, Marcelo, there's no rule. You can use either of them
Okay.
anytime you want. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're good with this, guys, right? We understand this. Let's take a look at the article then, right? And the article today, I like it because it's talking about something that's scientific, and we're focusing on something that is actually pretty creative. Scientists have found out an interesting piece of information about reindeer eyes, right? Do you guys know what reindeer are? It's an animal that is very it lives in northern Europe, lives in Canada, cold countries, right? Santa has reindeer in the North American kind of understanding. Santa has reindeer. Um, have you guys seen reindeer before? Maybe not. I don't think they're in South America.
Only
No, I've
movies and
never.
TV.
You saw them on TV, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just TV too.
Just on TV, yeah. So, guys, remember the focus of this article. We want to be understanding the article, and as a result, I want you guys to stop me whenever we have a question about a vocabulary or whenever we have a question about something that you don't understand. Okay? Don't wait. Just stop me. Hey, Farhan, I don't get this. Please, can you explain this to me? Or can we talk about this paragraph, right? Because the understanding is that there's no point in me reading this and at the end me asking any questions, guys. No. As I'm continuing the discussion, we will stop, right? Stop me anytime. Hey, I don't get this. Help me with that word, right? So let's get started, guys. What we learn is that reindeer eyes actually turn blue in the winter, right? Very interesting, but we always hear about other things with animals, but never about eyes turning blue. So let's see. Reindeer may be best known for fictional Rudolph's glowing red nose, but now scientists find the animals can alter color elsewhere as well. The backs of their eyeballs change from gold in the summer to blue in the winter. This change in color helps reindeer eyes capture more light during the dark winter months in the Arctic, scientists added. Any questions, guys, about these first two paragraphs?
No, no question.
Makes sense? Do you guys know who Rudolph is? This person Rudolph? Or this character Rudolph?
I know.
Yeah? Who's Rudolph, Jose?
He is one of the reindeers who has a red nose.
Yeah, yeah. Rudolph is the red-nosed reindeer.
Ah,
Had a
yeah, there's a
little.
song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Yeah, exactly. It's a very popular Christmas song, right? So anytime you guys are, if you guys watch any of the American programs and during Christmas time, they have this is Rudolph, right? He is a reindeer with a red nose. So a very popular children's character, Christmas character, right? So
Oh,
yeah, see how Rudolph has a red nose, right? So in this article, they're saying reindeer are famous. Rudolph made the reindeers very famous because of the red nose, but they actually have something else in their bodies that really does change color. It's not fiction. It's the truth, right? So collection of reindeer eyes. Okay, neuroscientist Glenn Jeffrey, who investigates vision at University College London, was sent a collection of reindeer eyes from the Arctic 12 years ago, some from reindeer killed in the summer, some in the winter. Okay? I opened the eyes up on my lab bench and almost fell off my chair, Jeffrey said. The differences were so dramatic, and I knew no one had ever seen anything like that before. However, It has taken us 12 years to slowly find out what is going on and why, right? Any questions, guys, about these two paragraphs here? Were there any words we didn't get?
London was sent a collection of reindeer eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Reindeer.
Yeah, reindeer. Reindeer is this animal. It's this animal here. This is called a reindeer. Marcelo.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So Rudolph is a reindeer. This guy is a reindeer, right? So the article is talking about that the reindeer eyes actually change color. No, that's fine. That's a great question, Marcelo. So see, this is a picture, guys, right? This blue eye of the reindeer was found in the winter, and this yellow golden eye was found in the summer, right? So when this professor found this, he was very surprised. He had no idea, right? So the quest for an answer. Quest. What is quest, guys? What does quest mean?
A search, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. The search for an answer. The quest for an answer. The search for an answer involved the research teams flying to the Arctic regularly each year. Oh, Marcelo, everything's okay? Kind of loud there. Okay, so, oops, let's go back to this. So, the search for an answer involved the research teams flying to the Arctic regularly each year, right? So, the environment can be brutal, with 24 hours light in the summer and 24 hours of darkness in the winter. Jeffrey said, right? The Sami people herd reindeer in the Arctic, and the scientists often collected eyes from the reindeer that they bought from Sami herders, right? So any questions, guys, about these three paragraphs here? What are they talking about?
Herd?
Herd, yeah, fantastic, great question, Jose. A herd is a group of animals, right? So, for example, there's two meanings, actually, Jose. Herd can be a noun, and it can also be a verb. It's a noun when we say that a large group of animals, for example, a herd of cows, right? If you have a large group of cows on a farm, you have a herd of cows, okay? But also, we can use it as a verb. If somebody herds something, then it is their responsibility to bring those animals together. So sometimes the farmers, the cowboys, they go into the farms and they herd up all of the cows. They bring them together for the night, right? So that's the idea. So these Sami people, the Sami people are a group of people in Norway, right? Very, very far north in Europe, and they herd reindeer. It's their business. That's what they do. They eat the reindeer, they herd the reindeer, they use the reindeer for all of their clothing and all those other things. Yeah. Does that make sense, Jose?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Great. Awesome. Any other questions, guys, about these three? When they said the environments can be brutal, what does brutal mean?
Tough?
Yeah, super tough.
Yeah.
Really tough, really rough, yeah. Something that's very difficult to deal with, right? Because in Northern Europe, in Norway, Marcelo, what's going on there? Okay, making sure. So in the summer, in the northern part of Norway, we have 24 hours of light, right? So it doesn't matter in the morning or the day, we have 24 hours of light, right? And in the winter, you have 24 hours of darkness in the very northern part of Norway. So it doesn't matter if it's 10 o'clock in the morning or midnight, it's dark outside, right? It's a very difficult situation. So thousands of animals would suddenly turn up, and they were all turned into meat in a couple of days. But this would go on miles from anywhere, right? Once we drove deep inland for about 4 hours, close to the winter solstice. We had to take a 30-kilometer diversion into Finland because wine is much cheaper there than anywhere else in Scandinavia. Magical trip, hardly saw anyone on the journey. So this is just this guy talking about how they had to travel. So when they went to visit these people, they had to drive so far north, extreme northern Europe, right? A very, very crazy area. And they were driving for 4 hours. They had to stop in Finland because the wine was very cheap. They wanted some wine, so they went to Finland. So what is it about this eye that makes it different, right? So I'm going to skip a bunch of these paragraphs, guys, and I'm going to go down to the important part, which is these findings, right? Actually, I'm sorry, let's go here. Moreover, the shift to blue may also scatter light through larger numbers of light-sensitive eye cells, rather than directly reflecting it out from the eye through fewer numbers of these cells. As such, their eyes end up capturing more light in the winter, when they need it most, with the trade-off of less visual sharpness. Right. This is, yeah, go ahead, Marcelo.
Scatter.
Scatter,
Also
yeah.
scatter, yeah.
Something that scatters something is something that spreads something, Marcelo. So, for example, if you are scattering, if light is being scattered, then light is being spread out into many different areas. It's not,
Divide.
yeah, like you're almost distributing the light. You're scattering the light, right? So when they have these blue eyes, the blue color scatters the light through more cells of their eyes, and that allows them to capture more light in the winter, right? It's very dark in the winter in Norway, so by having blue light, the light scatters, and they capture more light in their eyes, and they can see more than they would otherwise.
Then trade off.
Trade-off, fantastic. A trade-off is an exchange, right? So they're saying because they have their light, the light scatters, their eyes end up capturing more light in the winter. But with the trade-off, with the catch, right, at the expense of getting more light, they have less visual sharpness. So it's not a good thing that they are having the blue eyes, because when they have the blue eyes, they can catch more light in their eyes, but they don't see as clearly as they do in the summer. The sharpness of their eyes is less. So for example, if you're looking at something from 20 feet away or from 20 meters away, maybe you can't read it, right, because it's too far away. So just like that, their sharpness, their visual sharpness decreases, but they can capture more light. And in the winter, they need that light. They don't need so much the visual sharpness, right? Does that make sense, guys, of what they're saying about this? The reindeer?
Yeah.
It does? Okay. And the one thing I wanted to mention was two other things, right? Actually, these 3 paragraphs, and then we'll be done. These findings, right, so this research is the first known instance of mammal retinas altering their structure due to seasonal changes in the environment and environmental light, the researchers say. So these are the first known instance of mammal retinas. What is a mammal, guys?
It's some kind of animals.
Exactly, Jose. Mammals are any animal that has some kind of hair, and also the babies are born alive. So humans are mammals, right? Humans, the babies are they give live birth. You know, the baby is born alive, right? We don't have eggs that we hatch out of, right? So mammals include all kinds of animals: deer, bears, lions, cats, dogs, humans. You know, all of these types of animals are mammals, right? And what about the word? What about seasonal changes, guys? What does seasonal changes mean?
I don't know.
So changes in the season, right? All it's saying is that when the seasons change, for example, winter to summer to spring to fall, right? This is the only time they have ever seen an animal's eyes. The retina is a part of the eye, so the retina color changes based on the season. If it's winter, then they have blue eyes. If it's summer, then they have golden eyes. This is the only time they've ever seen a mammal do this kind of a change, right? Other animals do this. Maybe lizards and insects, maybe they change something in their bodies in the different seasons due to seasonal changes. But this is the first time we see this with animals, right? With mammals, I should say. No one has ever seen anything like this in a mammal before, let alone such a large shift, right? Such a big shift from that golden color to that blue color, right? And then last but not least, guys, the scientists want to further see whether these eye changes also influence how the reindeer see ultraviolet light, which is very rich in Arctic winter light, right? So this is a big question for them. UV light, ultraviolet light. Maybe this change in their eye helps them to adjust to the ultraviolet light that is always a big problem for them in the northern part of the world, in Norway and in northern Europe, right? So it's interesting, it's interesting because the research that they have, I mean, it's a pretty drastic change, right? Blue to golden, right? And I wanted to ask you guys, before we look at some of the classes, or some of the questions, guys, did you guys have any questions about this article so far, any of the words that we saw? Do you guys get the article? Marcelo, did you get a chance? Did you want to say something? I'm sorry. I think your mic is turning on and off.
No, no question, teacher.
No questions? It makes sense? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Jose, what about you? Any questions about the article? Something we didn't see or focus on?
Not really.
Okay.
Oh, no. I was wondering. In the beginning, it looks like said like they collected eyes from reindeers that were killed,
Mm-hmm.
and who dared to kill these reindeers?
Great question. So, there was a mention about the Sami people, remember? The Sami people are they're a tribe of people in northern Norway. They live at the top of the world, the super north part of Europe, right? Very close to the North Pole. And these people, they are the ones who farm and herd reindeer, and they kill the reindeer for meat and for their coats and all those kinds of things. So
Uh,
yeah, so the scientists bought a lot of the reindeer after they were killed by the Sami people. They took the eyes and they researched the eyes. So in the winter, the reindeer eyes would be blue. In the summer, the reindeer eyes were golden colored, right?
do they raise the reindeers, or they just hunt them?
I think they do both. I think they herd the reindeer and they also raise the reindeer, right? So they maybe have, like we raise cows. You have these big farms and ranches for cows all over the world, right? South America has a lot actually. Argentina, Brazil, lots of cows, right? So the herders, they do that. I think the Sami people do the same thing because there are reindeer. They control the reindeer population, and they use the reindeer for a lot of different things. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it's a native tribe. It's a native tribe from Northern Europe. They're not part of, some of them I'm sure are now in modern society, but they stayed very far away from modern society. They're still a tribe in northern part of Europe. So it's interesting. I've never seen them, but I've read about them in a book about Scandinavia, in a book about Norway. They're still around. They've been living in that part of the world for maybe thousands of years. Nobody knows. Very, very old people. So guys, I mean, do you guys think this research will help scientists uncover other secrets about eyes? I mean, why is eye color so important? I mean, this is the first time they're noticing this in a mammal, but who cares? I mean, what's the reason that people are so excited by this? What do you guys think about that, Jose? If you don't mind starting.
Okay, looks like that the eye colors has to do with the absorption of how you manage the light, how
Mm-hmm.
you take advantage to the light.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that as a first step, they are only concerned the process, the event that it really happens. They have discovered that there's a change, and for next step, I think that they will try to find out how this process happens and how they can reproduce this process, or maybe how to manage this process or to control this process.
Mm-hmm.
And by this step, at this step, they only have found out that they can change the color of their eyes and the effects, but
Hmm.
I think that they still don't know the process itself.
Yeah, they're still researching the process itself. Absolutely. They're trying to figure out, I mean, why would this animal be the only mammal that has this ability? Does it help these animals, right? Maybe there's a way we can use what we learn about these animals for something for humans, right? Humans love to take information from different sciences, different animals, and use that for our benefit, right? Marcelo, what do you think? Do you think this research is interesting? Will it help scientists understand about maybe how our eyes work in the future, or what do you think about that, Marcelo?
I don't know. I don't have an idea what this they are trying to figure out with these researches. But
Uh-huh.
according to the article, I think they are trying to figure out, to find out why these kind of animals change the color of their eyes according to the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So maybe they are trying to discover the way that the animals see things in the winter or and in the summer, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why these animals change the color. If they see, if the animals see the things different when
Mm-hmm.
the eyes on their eyes change the colors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think the idea of ultraviolet light is actually very interesting because, for example, as humans, when we use sunglasses, for example, right, when we wear sunglasses, when we are talking about, you know, I mean, protecting our eyes from the harmful rays of the sun, right? It always happens. When we buy sunglasses, we are concerned about that. People who wear glasses like me, we are always worried about, oh, what will happen to our eyes, right? And if there is a way for, scientists to understand, wow, okay, these conditions allow eye colors to change, that is really one of the best ways that maybe they can
I got
they can
you.
use our research.
Like the animal use this the animal change the color, change his color, the eyes color,
Mhm.
just to you say like you're saying right now,
Mhm.
maybe to protect uh, his their eyes.
Yeah, maybe to protect their eyes, right? And guys, what is an industry? I'm gonna ask a question that is a little challenging to you guys. What industry do you think would be specifically interested in something that allows us to protect our eyes or see better in the night? What do you guys think? I'm thinking of a particular industry in the United States that would be very interested in something like this, seeing something at night in a much better way. What do you guys think? Jose, do you have an idea maybe?
Surely it's military industry.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, okay, I knew it.
100% the military industry. Why do you think it's the military, Jose? You hit the nail on the head. 100%. Yeah.
Because they always give the first step,
Oh yeah.
trying to make some researches. They always give the first step and trying to produce weapons or take advantage.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Night vision, right? Night vision goggles,
Oh
night
yeah, night.
night vision goggles and night vision equipment. The United States is winning all of these wars, right? Or we are able to have all of these technological warfare. We can have technological warfare because we have so much research and billions of dollars devoted to technological innovation, technological understanding, right? If the U.S. Army has an eyeglass, or the soldiers can put something on their eyes that allows them to see an amazing amount in the dark. They can fight better. They can kill more, bad guys, and we can get more. We can win more battles, right? We can uh, bring victory, right? I mean, military is always looking for technology, especially for something like night vision. I mean, if you give them any advantage of biological advantage, wow, this will rock their boats. I mean, billions of dollars will start coming into your project, you know, if you can get the military on board. Absolutely, Jose.
A super
Yeah.
soldier.
I'm sorry, Jose?
No, like to try to produce a super soldier.
Yeah, making a super soldier, right? Why not? I mean, giving them all the tools, the technology to make them, you know, invincible. You know, it's like a superhero almost. You know.
Yeah.
Marcelo, what do you think of? Do you think the military is an important one, or do you have another one in mind?
Uh, Hunters, two hunters too.
Yeah,
They
why
use
not?
this kind of device.
Absolutely. How could hunters use it, uh, Marcelo? How could hunters use it?
Yeah, at night to look for to hunt.
Yeah, at night to hunt, right? To find the animals that they need to find, right? And Marcelo, this is going to be a dumb question for me, but is hunting popular in Brazil? Do people go out and hunt deer or ducks and birds and animals like that?
No, it's not so popular because the government try to keep the person, that kind of people, away from those ours animals. So, but I heard that in the United States it's common. I don't know if I'm sure
It is.
right
It
or
is.
wrong.
It is. It is common. It is very common here, Marcelo. I have friends who they go to in the winter, they go and they kill rabbits. In the spring, they kill deer. Uh, it's an all seasonal thing, all seasonal. They can go any. Some of them have guns, some of them have bows, bows and arrows. You know, like a big bow. Sometimes they shoot with bows.
Yeah.
Other ones have guns. So hunting is very popular, and fishing and hunting both actually. So if you want to hunt in the U.S., you need a license. You need a hunting license. Um, Also, to fish, you need a fishing license. So it's people love doing it. I mean, in the in Wisconsin, for example, in my state, they we have a lot of deer. We have too many deer. So the government sometimes pays the hunters to go and kill deer. You know, because we need to
Yeah.
control the population. So they say we have 10,000 extra deer. We need to kill 10,000 deer within the next 6 months.
Yeah,
So
but I've
hunters
heard
go.
too. I also heard that this kind of device is forbidden in some places. You know, you can't buy as you buy candy, for instance. You know, it's
Yeah.
forbidden to buy this kind of device. In
Hmm.
Brazil, I think it's forbidden. You have to have documentation to buy this kind of device here. You know.
Yeah, it's so different here, Marcelo. Honestly, I have opened up magazines in, airplane magazines, and the airplane magazine shows hunting equipment for sale. You call this number, they have all of this information for you. People buy binoculars, people buy night vision, people buy extra guns, extra bullets, camouflage. They wear the shirts that that they wear in the military. Um, you can so that you hide in the forest and the deer won't see you, right? One of my friends, he's crazy. He loves to crossbow, so he uses a weapon that's called a crossbow. Let me show you guys what a crossbow looks like very quickly. I don't know how to describe it honestly, guys, so I'm gonna have to use this Google Hangouts
But
screen share. Yeah, let
does
me.
does does the government in the United
Yeah,
States allow people to run freely?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. See this thing? Look at this guy. This is a crossbow. Right?
No,
It's
I've
it's a gun
heard.
with a bow on it. One of my friends he hunts with one of these things, right? This one is made specifically for deer. This one is specifically for deer, right? So you can have these, you can own these, you can buy these, you can sell these, right? and people go crazy. People buy all kinds of things, and it's 100% legal. You need a permit. You need to have a license. If you have a license, you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a different situation, I think, than in Brazil.
Have you already watched the Walking Dead movie?
I haven't been hunting. No, I have not been hunting yet. But I was
No.
thinking. Uh-huh. I'm sorry.
Have you
I'm sorry.
already have you already watched the movie The Walking Dead?
Oh, I haven't. No, I haven't. I haven't seen that movie.
Because there is a character that use this kind of guns
Uh-huh. The
that you
crossbow.
just show us.
The crossbow. It's a bow with a big beginning like that, and it's a thing in the middle.
Yeah,
Crossbow, so it shoots out. Yeah, it's a very powerful weapon, guys. Very powerful weapon. I mean, if you hit an animal with that, I mean, it's dead. I mean, there's no way. Other people they hunt with rifles. They hunt with shotguns, different kinds of weapons. Um, Sometimes, if you are very adventurous, the big guys in hunting, they hunt the biggest deer, kind of like reindeer. They hunt bucks. Bucks are male, the big male deer, the men deer. They go and they hunt bucks. So, and we also lots of birds like ducks and geese. A lot of ducks are also hunted every year, and geese are hunted. So a lot of that happens, guys. It's different. But so one last question for you guys. I know you guys have done really well, but I was thinking when it comes to the the understanding that we have here, does it surprise you guys that animals have these special ways to adapt to their conditions? When we talk about evolution or we talk about how animals have changed over many, many years, right? Does it surprise you that this animal has a special process? Winter one color, summer one color. Is it surprising to you guys? Jose, what do you think about that?
Well, I'm surprised of particular uh, this particular news of the eyes. I
Hmm.
didn't know about that. That an animal can totally change its eyes color
Hmm.
seasonally. Well, I heard about uh, those little lizards that can change the color. What's the
Yeah,
name?
chameleons,
Ah,
right?
yeah,
Let
those
me
chameleons.
let me write down these.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, but I
chameleons.
never heard about the eyes in a mammal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a very unique situation, right? Uh, but animals have to do what they have to do to survive, I guess, right? When it comes to survival, they have to find a way. Maybe that's why. And I think chameleons are really cool. They can change color any with their surroundings. It's lizards. I mean, they're amazing what they do.
yeah,
They can hold anything. Yeah, go ahead, Jose.
yeah. But what I mean is an animal. It's very far away from us. Deer is a mammal, like we are.
Yeah,
That's why I'm
more
amazed.
surprised. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly, exactly. Marcelo, what do you think about the? Do you think does it surprise you that these reindeer can do this when other mammals cannot? We cannot just change our eye color. Uh, Dogs, cats, they can't change their eye color.
yeah. I really got surprised, but I've seen cats. That cats sometimes can change the color of their eyes. I don't know if you have seen this kind of thing.
I've seen cats
Look,
have green eyes. Sometimes their eyes are very bright green because they at nighttime. I've seen that, right?
I've seen here in Brazil cats change uh, their eyes into, for instance, green into blue.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Green to
I don't
blue.
know.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense to me. I didn't know that they could change, honestly, Marcel. I thought maybe at night they have a green color because kind of so they can see easier, but Yeah, you could be right. I have no idea, Marcelo. Green to blue makes sense to me. I wish I had blue eyes. I have brown eyes. You know, people from my part of the world, we have black hair and brown eyes. It's everybody. I mean, Indian people, black hair, brown eyes. That's if you. There may be some very rare cases, but otherwise, black hair, brown eyes.
Okay, but it's an interesting topic.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
I've never seen this kind. I've never seen this kind of animal.
Reindeer, huh?
Yeah, Grindy. I've never
They're
seen it
they're
before.
so far north. I don't think they exist in anywhere but in North America and in Europe, honestly. And also Russia. Russia has them, I'm sure.
It's Papai Noel. It's the animal that takes Papai Noel. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Papai Noel. Do you
Up in
remember
the what? I'm sorry, Marcelo. Did you say top of the world? I thought you said top of the world at the beginning.
Papai Noel. How can I say Santa Claus?
Santa Claus.
Oh, Santa Claus. Yeah, reindeer are used by Santa Claus. Absolutely. So they have
Yeah.
Santa Claus has like 9 of them, whatever. In English, we say their names are. I forgot their names. I'm gonna get them confused. But Rudolph is the most popular one. The guy with the red nose. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. That's what we sing. Little kids in this country, right? They love that song. So yeah, guys. Next time you see a reindeer, you see Rudolph. You guys are gonna be able to say, "Hey, Rudolph's eyes change color, not just the nose." You know. So great, guys. Any other questions, guys, about this article?
No question. Thank you.
Fantastic, guys. I have another class now. I know it's super late in Brazil, also in Peru, guys, but if you guys can't join now, I hope to see you soon, very soon.
Okay, bye bye. Bye bye.
Yeah,
See you.
awesome. Take care, guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye-bye. Bye-bye, Jose. Take care. As I can. No stopping.
How long time did you take?
60 hours to drive 2,200 miles, which is so 3,500 kilometers in 60 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty significant, I thought. Out of the 60 hours, I slept for 10 hours. I did Colingo for 9 hours. So on the road, I was on the road for how many hours then? 41 hours. Nah, 41, 50. Yeah, 41 or so hours on the road. Yeah. So, and wait, 60 hours, 41, 9 hours in Congo, 10 hours. Yeah, a couple hours of maybe just like eating, maybe a couple more hours. So roughly 38 hours on the road, I think it was total. To go from Madison to San Francisco. So it was nice. It was very good trip for me. I liked it a lot, but sometimes I was very tired, unfortunately. So.
And you make it by yourself, just alone, or?
Yep, just alone.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a good experience. On the way back, I'm going to be going alone also, but I'm worried about the weather in December because it might snow. And if it snows in the mountains, I will be in serious trouble. So I will go when it's very warm. If the weather is nice, I'll leave when I see that the weather is very nice the entire trip.
Great.
Yeah, so when I was coming down, guys, not a single drop of rain. Nothing. The entire country was clear weather when I came down. So I want a very similar experience when I go back. And yo, have fun, man, okay? Peace. Can I'm gonna move this in the back, dude. So it's like, yeah, are there any outlets out here? It's a good spot. Marcelo, professor, tudo beleza, professor?
Como está você, professor? Como está você? Muito bem, muito bem, muito
Estou
bem.
muito bem, professor. Estou muito bem, professor. Você?
Muito bem também.
Ah, that's great. That's great. Fantastic. Welcome to
Very
class. Marcelo,
well,
how's
very
everything
well
going?
too. Great, great.
Good,
What
good, good.
about you?
I'm just trying
What
to,
have you done?
great, great. Everything's great. I'm in California, man. Living the life here. San Francisco, San Jose. It's
Great.
beautiful.
Are you enjoying California staying there?
Oh, it's
Living?
beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm loving every minute.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's a great place. Beautiful place. There's so much to do, so much culture, so much uh, everybody speaking a different language on the street, different food, restaurants. When are you going to be here again, Marcelo? You said you're coming to San Francisco.
Sorry, teacher. I was with another window.
No, that's fine. Did
Okay.
you? When are you coming to San Francisco? I think you said you were coming to San Francisco.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will go to United States next year. I don't know yet.
Uh-huh,
But
next year. Okay, okay.
I feel like I feel like going next year. But I
Uh-huh.
don't know if I will have time to go next year.
Sure, sure. But no, you're always
I'm not
welcome.
sure. I'm not sure. But I
No, it's
intend to go. I intend to go. I intend to go to Las Vegas and the Orlando,
Orlando, yeah.
and San Francisco. I would like to know too.
Yeah,
I would
beautiful.
like to drop by from San Francisco. And
Yeah.
San Francisco, what is that movie was made? The Pursuit of Happiness
Pursuit of
was made in San
Happiness.
Francisco. Yeah,
I think so. I didn't see that movie, but
yeah, yeah.
it sounds familiar. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's,
Awesome movie. Yeah.
yeah, Will Smith and his son are very they make a very good pair when they are in a movie. They work very well together, the father and son.
Okay. But San
Yeah.
Francisco, have you heard that it's so cold in the winter?
It gets chilly, but it doesn't. It's not super cold. It's not like snow or things like that. But there is a lot of fog in the sometimes in the afternoon. There's some fog around sunset. Sometimes there's fog. So,
Okay.
but it's not. It's in a few days,
Awesome.
guys. If you guys care, my website, I am going to be writing my travels and putting my videos on this
Great,
website.
great,
Yeah,
great. I'm gonna see
so
it. I'm gonna see
yeah,
it.
yeah. If you guys want to check it out, always feel free to tell me if I should improve it or do some different things like that. So okay, fantastic.
I think it was an awesome travel.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. And being here today, I drove to outside of San Jose. San Jose is my city right now. I went to the mall, and the culture is amazing. I mean, there's one part of the city that is completely Vietnamese people from Vietnam. So yesterday I tried a dish called pho. It's called pho, but it's written as pho, Pho, right? It's written pho, but it's pronounced pho, and it's this huge, gigantic bowl of. It's a soup, but it has chicken. It has rice noodles. It has. It's very spicy. You can make it very spicy, and it was delicious. I never had that kind of food before, but here in California, every culture, nobody looks like anybody else, and yeah, on the same street, you have me, you have somebody from Vietnam, somebody from Mexico, somebody from Africa. I mean, the entire world in one area, in one
And
state. Yeah,
are you gonna go back by car again?
yeah, yeah. I
It's a long way.
I have to, unfortunately. But I mean, it's going to be fun. Now I know the road. It's going to be better. It's going to be much better because I know the road. But yeah, I spent 16 hours in the mountains. 16. It's not generally that cold, no, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately, it's not that cold. So it's
Great, great.
yeah, it's pretty nice. Generally, it's pretty nice. I like it. Um, Jose, how's it going, man? Welcome to class.
Hello, Farhan. It's good to see you're alive.
Yeah, I good to see him alive. Exactly. I was the day I came here, I was driving. So I think the day after I spoke with you, I got here Monday night on schedule, no problems. But I was driving like a maniac, right? So I was driving pretty crazy on the highway, and there were two or three times when I felt I was falling asleep, right?
Oh,
Which is kind of dangerous, right? But I saw, I thought I saw a deer, okay, on the road, and I braked really hard. There were no cars behind me, but I braked, so I didn't stop, but I slowed down very suddenly, right? But
okay.
then I realized it wasn't a deer. It was just the light playing a trick with my eyes, right? So
Yeah.
you have to be careful sometimes. But the mountains were beautiful in the daytime. I took a ton of videos. So as I was driving, I took videos of the scenery, of the road, me driving, everything like that. And
Also, you have crossed the mountains.
yeah, I crossed the mountains,
Okay.
and the deserts.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's
yeah.
why I asked you the last time. I asked you about the coffee, if you have drink coffee.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
drink any coffee the entire trip. No coffee.
Okay.
Zero coffee, just water, and I had tea. I had one glass of tea. That was it. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Uh,
So, or I mean, food. I had maybe a little. I had a sandwich and I had whatever, but no, it was. I was just driving, driving, driving as many hours as